Virile Essence, The Male Gaze in Love, written by Shane Chapa, narrated by Pete Richard. Forward. I choose not to patronize you by saying I understand or know where you're coming from. I don't. How could I? I'm a guy. It doesn't mean I don't try or wish to connect with you. The life plots and sequences of events that led to the moment we intersected were lines of latitude and longitude. Parallel paths don't meet. I can only see through the eyes that a man sees through. I can only know what I have experienced, and I have only experienced being a man. If I could understand why you seem irrational at times, or stand in your shoes and realize those eyes have seen the world I walk on from another point of view, I'd do that mile. I'm not supplicating to you. I want to understand you, but I'm happy where I am too. I love being a man. The natural tendencies in me propel me to be a version of who I am. I can't turn that off. So when we argue and I litigate like I'm trying to win a court case and race to an agreement, I don't mean to be abrupt or disregard you. I want to come to a conclusion and move on. Take what I say at face value. See me, not through me. I have nothing to hide. Narrative of love. The greatest investment one can make is to fall in love. I don't know who said this, but I know that they have known love. I know they have felt the skin of their lover touching their own skin and shivered in delight. I know that they have heard their lover cry, and that cry hurt worse than any wound they have ever received. I know they saw heaven in the eyes of a sinner, and I know that the sinner in them felt unworthy to be loved in return. Love cannot be defined or refined, for in its purest form it is beyond our comprehension and too simple to fragment. Love is the divine manifestation of the highest consciousness. God commanded he be described by it. Can you think of any other force, feeling, or state of being that is so extraordinarily powerful that the epitome of power succumbs to its essence? Love is synonymous with nothing. Love can be none other than love itself. Its fragrance can only be sensed in the realm of illogical sacrifice. The sound of love is not spoken in words or music. It is heard in the whimpers of those who have lost it. Those in the trance of love cannot hear. Their ears are blanketed in the dissonance of irrational promises. It whispers in the throes of passion to take the time to look into each other's eyes. It sleeps at climax if forsaken and erupts as fury in those who deem themselves unworthy. You are good enough for me. Love cries as the unlovable walks away in disbelief. Those who find fault in love find fault in their lovers. The projections of their desires fail to manifest as reality only in the fantasy they have woven. The portraits they paint on the object of their affection in no way resemble the person before them. To them, love must be created by compatibility. Love is the singular superior to free will. Love is the gravity of souls. Love cannot be compatible or contrived. Love is senseless and unpredictable. To serve your lover in love, you must not conform to their portrait of you, and you must resist the strokes of your expectations on them. To be disenfranchised by love is to be fearful of chaos. Love will not reside in a crystallized state, for it is a whimsical muse dancing on chance. To taste love is to spice the tongue with salt. Intertwined ravenously is delectable pleasures of lust. Our skin perspires, yearning to be kissed. Savor the taste of your lover if you deem yourself unworthy. This will be short-lived, for the taste of tears will spice your tongue in due time. Love hides behind closed eyes as lovers kiss. Love is eternal but flickers in moments. Romance is the silhouette of lovers in its light, and the light of love is our acceptance of each other as we are. I want to sit on the sofa with your head in my lap, stroke your hair behind your ear while you're taking a nap, and just be there. The little things. I love it when you tell me where to kiss you, then move your hair away. The playful way you giggle when you're tipsy on amarettos, on tippy toes to kiss me even though you're in stilettos. I love the way you can't sing and talk to the dog like she knows what you're saying. Arms crossed, puffed lip pouting when she's disobeying. On cold night you tuck your pants into your weed socks, curled up on the couch with the TV off, reading a book with your headphones in, lost in this weak featured fiction, but listening to outdated melodies. I love all these things you do. The you that smiles on her toes and reprimands in a childish pose, then loses herself in art. It's those things that pull strings and untie my heart. Watching her heal. She had a bottle in one hand and a glass in the other, dancing in the kitchen with nothing but my t-shirt on. I must confess her legs turned me on like a streetlight at sunset, but her vibe felt better than sex. She wasn't dancing for me, she was happy. She felt free. She was dancing for herself. The erotically hypnotic way she moved was her feeling herself. She felt beautiful. She felt like I felt about her, but my opinion was irrelevant at that moment. So I allowed her the space to dance with herself. I sat on the counter and snapped at the top hat on the fourth count. She strummed the rhythm of that blues with her hips in the most sensual of progressions. I was her rebound. I was not her love, I was her lover. The man who left her broken-hearted was leaving her memory a little more every day, allowing her heart to heal itself. He had taken so much from her she forgot who she was. She was finding herself again, and tonight she reached a crossroads. She began her journey in the 7th level of hell, met me in the 3rd, and together we found purgatory. Regardless of the space I held in her heart, I cared for her deeply. Her soul was as beautiful as her smile, and watching her fall back in love with herself was even more beautiful than that. I knew that when she found herself again, I would have to let her go. I was careful not to let her in my heart, and I dared not knock on hers. She wanted to be caressed and kissed everywhere, and I gave her that. She wanted to laugh and tell stories of her childhood. We did that all night a few times. When she had a hard day, I would come home to her on my porch. When she felt alone, I would answer her call at 2 a.m., and when she felt like making love, I was her rendezvous. I knew I would miss her when she left me for herself, but I was okay with that. Sometimes love is not meant to be kept. Sometimes we need to be loved only for a moment with no expectations or obligations. Sometimes we need to be held and allowed to leave at the same time. Her body spoke to me as she danced in my kitchen. She laughed and told me stories about her childhood. She bit her lip and looked at me the way she did right before our first kiss. Her hips moved the way they did on mine when we made love, and her heart was ready to fade out the song of him. The next song in her heart would be hers alone. I bit my lip the way I did the first time I saw her as she walked toward me, inviting me to join the dance. I took the glass from her hand, leaving the bottle for her in the other. I knew that night would end with her legs wrapped around me in nothing but my t-shirt, and I knew that it would probably be our last time. She was leaving me for herself, and I had to let her go in love. The male gaze in love. What am I staring at? You, my love. When I look you in the eyes, the way your lashes fall and rise makes me want to kiss you. I'm not coming on to you. I missed you. It's distracting when you're acting all serious with cherry gloss on your lips. It makes me feel playful and sentimental of our first kiss. I'm not looking at your chest. Kinda. Actually, I am. I'm looking at your shirt. It's the one you wore last weekend when we went to the beach. The sand speckled your face like the freckles you hate but I adore. I walked behind you on the shore, checking out your ass too. Is that rude? Is it rude to admire the way you class up casual attire? I do love your body. Every curve, inch, shape, and movement. But when I'm looking at your body, you misjudge the symptoms for the sickness. I don't look at you to deluge my fantasies upon you or display outright voyeurism. I look at you because through you, the world is filtered into a kaleidoscope of colors I can't see on my own. Beauty to me is more than what I can see. Beauty allows me to feel things. In my world, feelings are fleeting. I want to feel the breeze, music, and colors like you do, so I do it through you. I admire the way you adorn your body in bright colors on soft cloth. I admire the way you touch pretty things with your small hands and caress them like you're saying, I love you. I'm not undressing you with my eyes. I'm trying to escape my shallow perception of this world and experience the richness and depth of yours. To just hold her. He didn't know why or what it meant, but he couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong inside her. He felt that she needed to be cared for without being taken from. He had ravished her body 1,000 times. He had spanked her and bit her and controlled her. She enjoyed that. But something was different. He knew her body and mind needed to be treated tenderly that day. She didn't know how to say it. He didn't know how to hear it, but he could feel her vibration. Her body desired him, but her being desired to be more than just a body. In his arms, she could hear his heartbeat and fell asleep to the lullaby of him. I watched her make love. She doesn't know. She made love on display. Her body told tales in erotic ballet. My hands on her hips caressed the limits of my fantasies, sincere in her disbelief of her body as a masterpiece. The candle on the dresser illuminated her side, her silhouette on my wall oscillating in tides, on currents of aphrodisia, waves thrust and pull, her body obeying the commands of the sea, yielding carefree to unfathomable energy. The breezeless night sweeps her hair in the winds of my gripping hand. Her eyes closed to the light, her back curved, arched in delight. Lifting her sails to the headboard, red nails tight to the rails, then calm. Breathlessly, your body slowly delivers the opioid of you falling on my chest. Overtaking my senses, intoxicating. Now rest. I'm contemplating this life. You will spend the rest as my delusion. That love could ever be as real or as beautiful an illusion as your silhouette scintillating in the flicker cast by the glow. I watched you make love, but you didn't know. She was always mad at him, but scared for him at the same time. What she saw as reckless abandonment was his struggle to find his purpose. Love and purpose. Sunday morning, I walked to the cafe on 7th, the one where I drink it black because I don't think coffee and soy go together. But it's the one with the ambiance of art because I don't think Sunday mornings and logic go together. I sat outside in the shade of palm trees because the roof eaves were too diffusing. I wanted to feel the sun, not the rays of the sun, but the radiance of daylight in the shade. It's like listening to jazz in the dark. It's just everywhere. Looking into the storefront from the patio, I could see a stack of books on a distressed wooden table. The books were stacked 5 high like art, systematically disorganized to disrupt the order of our mundane lives. The second book from the top was turned just right, and I could read the title through the reflection of the rising sun on the wavy antique glass. The bind read, Dante in Love. That's all Dante was, I thought, sipping Ethiopian light roast with the utmost snobbery. What if Beatrice knew that she would forever be remembered as an obsession? This man is forever famous for being too scared to talk to a girl. He put her on a pedestal like a trophy bought at a thrift shop and pretending to be a contender. The game killed Casanova, but at least he went down swinging, literally swinging. I am aware that is a complete misrepresentation of Dante, but I can't help but wonder. Had he married Beatrice when he was young, would he have been a prolific revolutionary with his works earning him immortality? Can a man surrender his heart to both his purpose and a woman at the same time without making her his purpose? If she was his purpose and he orbited around her existence, would the lunar pool of his neediness create too many waves? Could she have a purpose separate from him if she was his purpose? Those relationships never work. What if each gave their heart to their purpose but their love to each other with understanding? Would they be binary stars? Would the fire burning in each of them attract the other as they spiral through space and collide into a brilliant kilonova? Are you sure you want me? We should wake up together. Sure, whatever. I'll make thigh quakes, you make pancakes. Your eyes are saying might as well, mixing drinks and casting spells. Do you smoke? What the hell, why not? The night is young. We're not. We're flirting. Pardon me? Harmless? I disagree, or digress maybe. But if this leads to you and me on a moonlit walk through poetries, lost in drunk philosophies, or an entry in your diary of silk robes and debauchery, it's romantic, no criticisms, 2 bottles, no inhibitions. This might go wrong, or go right and last long. But you need to know, before this love song and that thong hit the air and drop a debut, I'm a man on a mission, not a man on cue, for you, or any simplistic pleasures. Can you handle the pressure of a lover drowned in thoughts? Those love letters and forget-me-nots come with the moods of muses. Lost in Confucius on a path of remedies debating Plato and Socrates. Not sleeping for days in a haze of over-caffeinated waves of word plays. I can promise you tonight, talented lips, pulsing hips and sheet grips. But in the morning, the vision is endearing. You missing an earring, naked, wrapped in a towel on my porch swing, elated. My naughty little plaything, persuaded by the throbbing you were hiding in your thighs under pool table lighting. But before we wake to thigh quakes and pancakes, eyes tight, blinded by the sunlight, I might or might not be Mr. Right, but I can only promise you tonight. Her Grace. To love a woman fully, a man must love all women. To understand a woman, a man must understand all women. To understand all women and to love all women, a man must understand and love himself. Women do not judge men. They accept the verdict he imposes on himself. If a man is strong, fearless, and vulnerable, she will take him at his word. But if he fails to reconcile actions with words, she will discard him. She holds no malicious intent. A woman will stand beside him through turbulence and pick up the pieces if he falls apart, but will not do it alone. Best selves. She said yes, but wore the ring around her neck on a necklace. They agreed years ago that she would wear that ring when they accomplished their goal of becoming the best version of themselves. The ring no longer represented a wedding, marriage, or a title. It represented a life goal, something bigger than them. They woke up together every morning on a mission to be their best selves. If she never wore the ring, it wouldn't matter. The journey to them was more important than the destination. The obsessed. I meant to appreciate you. My possession, no, my obsession. Maybe. But you need to know, my heart beats a little faster. I chose my words with care. I am not your master. It's impolite to stare, but you are my disaster, and I am unaware. The moment I walked past her, I spoke a silent prayer. Don't let me pick this flower. May it blossom in the season. I picked you for myself. For this, I have no reason. I knew that to possess you would decimate attraction. Now I will not forget you. This is my chain reaction. The fraud. The lips of an impoverished heart quiver in a plagiarized tone. His expression a forgery of confusion. Diluted archetypes of masculinity flounder. The vastness of the feminine, incomprehensible to the petty thief. Parading the virtues of diluted chivalry. Serenading a time when deeds were enough and a woman could be bought. The true currency of attraction, a man's purpose, is beyond him. She is his mission to possess and hoard. She wishes to oscillate through the energies of divinity. Love is aloof and attracted to like. To only offer love is an offer of lackluster, invaluable ideas. A man may love a woman well, and she may love him in return. But to burn in lust, embody passion, and ignite her soul, love will not suffice. I lied my way into her heart. The only way out was the truth. She's just crazy. Calling her crazy enough times for speaking her mind will make her doubt herself. It's like bluffing in poker. You ain't got shit, so you make the other player doubt their hand by lying. Even though their hand is stronger, eventually they throw their hand in and give up on themselves. Things old men say. Soldier, I was in your shoes 40 years ago and made my mistakes. I hurt that woman so bad sometimes that I still kick myself in the ass thinking about it. What changed, I asked. I did. I stopped trying to make her happy with me and made myself happy with me. Don't make her carry your gear. Ruck up and take the hill, son. The realization. My love, he said, wiping her tears with his hand. You're not crazy. or moody or difficult. You're honest and brave and see through me. I'm scared. I'm scared of everything. I'm scared of life. I'm scared of failing, and I'm scared of losing you. I say you're crazy when you see the parts of me that I think aren't good enough for you. It's manipulative and pathetic, and you deserve to be loved better than that. It's complicated. I know I can't have you. I can explore you and touch you however I like, but I can't claim you as mine. I can share my dreams with you, but I can only dream of us. I can bring you coffee in the shower and tea in bed, but after we have shared our dreams, explored each other, and shared caffeinated moments of togetherness, you will kiss me at the door and look back twice as you walk away. You know I want you to stay, but you know if you do, I'll push you away. Good night, inamorata. Your lips taste like me. When the sun comes up and the wine wears off, will we still be? After coffee to go and a kiss on your way, come in again. Come again. I want you to stay. You came to my thrust, I came to my senses, and lost them to care not. Blue light special. Your phone is buzzing again, and it's obvious you don't care. To be honest, neither do I. To be completely honest, I'm grateful. It's dark in here with the curtains closed and lights off. Every time he calls, the light from your phone lights up the room. And the way your body is moving over mine. The glistening of sweat on your tits. Your beautiful manicured fingertips rubbing your clitoris. I hope he calls again. Good morning, lover. She woke up on time but couldn't resist his naked body lying next to hers. Late for work and smitten, she begins her beauty regimen. Watching him dry his body and dress, she touches her legs, teasing his eyes with her hands, sensually glazing her skin with oils. His eyebrow lifts, daring her to challenge his endurance. Turn around. Hands against the wall and spread those. Yes, those pedicured toes and stilettos. Watching that dress drip off your ass and arched back falling to your feet. I confess I didn't notice how well those shoes went with your dress. On my knees, I seek atonement. Sex. She said stop. Her thighs around my hips tightened. I stopped. My lips on her neck lightened. Her ankles wrapped my thighs from the inside. She sighed. Why'd you stop? I smiled, bit her chin, then growled, get on top. Her breasts taste like ravishment. Her chest beats like a rabbit. I am the fox. Her chastity, I have the key to the locks. Her nails pierce my chest, and my cock pierces her soul. She lets go. In a heavenly descent of unyielding delight, gripping skin with teeth and nails, hailing all that is beautiful. Hold me tight. Ride the stars and shine like cat eyes on the night. This is yours for the taking. Take me with you. Take me in you. Take me to your fantasies. Submit to your Ramses, to land of your discretions. Your moans are my instructions. Guide me to insanity. Inhabitations tragically are a fallacy of our condition. Come with me to ecstasy. Come to me with vanity. Be beautiful before me, magically. Love me with your lips and bow to me. shadow woman. She would lay in my bed, still wet from the bath, suds froth on her espresso skin, salaciously invited me to sip her. The need for adventure in her eyes was contagious. She loved to dance until her legs hurt, then rest them on my shoulders. The sex was so bright, I couldn't see her dark side. Thinking maybe. You were supposed to be cast in the abyss of lovers past, and nameless ass. What if I asked, with your legs around me, if you'd stay forever? Or if I told you, filling you fills me with feelings of hopefulness? Would it be insane to wonder your last name? In this moment of openness, I don't want to come. I want to stay in you. 'Cause when we're through, I might not have the fortitude to say to you, move in. The dresser that we fucked on has 3 empty drawers. The bathroom sink we kissed on has room for his and hers. Queen-size bed you're halfway hanging off is halfway yours if you were thinking the same thoughts. One night. Remember when your truth or dare stare led to tied hands and pulled hair? You asked me to spank you and thank you for the pleasure. My leg between yours, your back against a lamppost. Lonely hearts and comatose, spontaneously uncomposed, up close and personal. Discussions of vertical repercussions. On horizontal seductions, lessons learned, bridges burned, and we still couldn't help but undress under distress of thoughtless indiscretions. You are my indiscretion, but the impression of your teeth on my chin reminds my tongue of your skin covered in sin. It's gonna end with a good luck in life and a fuck you too then. Letting go. I didn't mean to call you. The whiskey stole my phone. As hard as I try to be the guy on a solo ride, an island to himself who doesn't need help, I'm helpless without you. I'm hopelessly doubtful you're alone, or entertaining thoughts of rekindling what we lost. I'm not calling for forgiveness or pretentious pleas for second chances. The chance of relapse into this state is too great. Our love's rate of recidivism into nihilism and self-hate opens gates of passion and irrational actions that we can't take back and wish never happened. You took a piece of me with you, and I can't find myself or get myself together. I'm tethered to a fantasy so separate from reality, while your body is a banshee haunting me erotically, summoning and calling me. Your voice in my mind reminds me and binds me in chains of self-disgust. I'd be fine if we broke up, but we exploded, and parts of us turned to dust, like hopes of moving on and the ability to trust. The whiskey didn't call you to enthrall you or submit. It's the last time I'll call you. I'm admitting I miss all of you. I'll miss you indefinitely, along with the pieces of me you stole with infidelity. I'm saying goodbye till the next life, forever and for the last time. I love you. Good night. Renaissance lovers. When you left me, you left your muse. I am him, I am he, to love and to use. For evening symposiums with midnight crescendos on metaphorical podiums, of drunk innuendos when I fade from your mind, hold no reservations. We were sublime in the height of frustration. The battles we waged were meant to uncover the beauty within a Renaissance lover. I left her. The phoenix sun is bright. It radiates brilliantly but can't ease the chill. The wind bites my skin with cold teeth and I yearn for summer. The cold reminds me of Monterey. That is where she is. That is where I left her. The sails of her heart taut in the wind. The wind blows west and I am east. She misses me a little less every day. I miss her a little more every night. Maybe when summer comes, I will miss the cold. It may be numbing my heart. For the inevitable day, the time apart will push her away. My stutter. God was drinking with me and I asked him to tell me a story. He grinned like grandpas do when they're making stuff up. Well, God had already made everything up. I mean, made everything, but with his mind, so yeah, made it up, I guess. He tapped his glass on the bar. When the gentleman behind the bar looked his way, God gestured for two. I told him I was still working on mine, but he said it would be a long story and too abstract for the sober mind. I took his word for it because he's God, so why not? He asked me a question in such a way that it was okay to think about it for a while. He asked me, "Do you know why I gave you a stutter?" My first instinct was rage. Why would he give me an affliction and then admit to it like he had done me a favor? My first thought was self-righteous relishing in my suffering like we all do, sweeping the walkway with woe is me so my martyr's robe didn't get dirty. I thought so I could be empathetic and humble. I forgot he could read my mind and he looked at me like grandmas do when you say a curse word. And just like grandmas do, he shook his head and grinned, knowing my ignorance was a byproduct of my youth. He didn't speak though. He wanted me to think about it. I finished my drink before sliding it down the mahogany bar with a flick of the wrist, then pulled the one waiting toward me by the base with 2 fingers. I thought about it but had no conclusions, so I admitted my ignorance. I don't know. I never thought about it. He was stirring his drink and with his eyes turned my attention to the dance floor where a woman was dancing. She was quite attractive and moved with a seductive vibe. He asked, "What do you find attractive about her?" I replied, "She dances like she's making love." "Why is that attractive to you?" he asked. Breaking my gaze, I said, "I was in love with a woman who danced like that, and I lost her." "Why did you lose her?" "I took her for granted." "You only find value in what you don't have," he said softly with his lips on the glass. I agreed in my mind and he graciously acknowledged my faults without belittling me. The condensation of the glass in my hand created a droplet of water which fell in perfect succession to the one from my eye. The droplet rolled down my thumb. The tear rolled over my lip as I stirred the ice along with my thoughts and asked, "What does that have to do with my stutter?" He stood, sliding his stool in, his coat on and a pen toward me, and asked, "What does your heart want to do right now?" "Write about a woman making love to music," I replied. "You tend not to take words for granted." You enjoy me enjoying you. You enjoy the lipstick kisses I can't get off. You enjoy the freedom of being tied up. You enjoy hypnotizing me with bedroom eyes. You enjoy being chased to the bed. You enjoy tasting your skin on my lips. You enjoy being the center of attention. You enjoy being enjoyed. Grow up. Put your clothes on. No, I'm not turned on. Your adolescent mindset is not attractive. Don't get manic, upset, and overactive. I'm attracted to women. Grown-up, powerfully feminine women. Women who challenge themselves and my masculinity. These petty issues, use tissues, and hate you misuse. No, I won't kiss you. I'm not your dad or professor. Confess your insecurities to your hairdresser. I'm not feeling it. I am not the aggressor, and you're not a victim. Your past is your oppressor. I'm not him and won't serve his sentence. Put your big girl boots on. Summon your inner goddess. Tantrums and a toddler's temperament won't pay rent or display intent for anything worth my investment. Playing dirty. I shared my feelings with you because you asked me to. I had no idea you were only trying to control me. Had I known, I would have pleaded the fifth. Love is a game to you. A lover is a trophy. You will never know true love because you never play fair. By invoking my confession of admiration, your intent was to expose me. Your game is to manipulate the vulnerability in me to disguise the insecurities in you. She said I had rough hands and soft words. A life of hard labor and love will do that. Do it for you. I almost walked past you in the terminal. You said you were picking me up, but you're never on time. And it's been so long since I've seen you in a dress, I dismissed the silhouette of eye candy in my peripheral. But I knew that figure. My fingertips traced every inch of it, and I've held tight to every curve. I hadn't seen you in heels for years, but I know how you stand in them. A little awkward, but you sacrifice function for seduction. I appreciate it. When I came to my senses and realized it was you, we were both a little embarrassed. I, because I hadn't recognized you. You, because you were the center of attention in the room. All eyes were on you, but yours were on me. You never knew how beautiful you were. My mind struggles to imagine anyone or anything more beautiful. You stood, arms crossed, waiting for me to embrace you. After all that effort, you'd be damned if you weren't approached properly. My approach was slow, my breath shallow, desperately trying to find the right words, the right kiss, the right greeting to express how much I have missed you and appreciate you. Hi was all I had. My mental faculties were overloaded with the memories of every kiss, every I love you, every I hate you, and every time we've looked into each other's eyes and spoke I need you without words. My hands could care less about the sentiment. They have missed you as much as my eyes had, and your waist was all they wanted. They pulled you close with fingertips on your lower back, and the right kiss happened. We kissed and smiled at the same time. You giggled when I licked the cherry lip gloss off my lips and used your thumb to take back your lipstick. Surprised? You asked as if you needed validation for being amazing. No, I thought. I am not surprised that you would wear a sundress and heels on a cold Northern California night just to see me smile. I am not surprised that you spent hours straightening your hair and putting on makeup to pick me up from an airport at night. Nothing you do for me is a surprise. You know what I like, and you like seeing me happy. It hurts inside sometimes knowing that you enjoy making others happy but can't be happy yourself. That place inside of you lined with gemstone-bound books on crystal shelves disguising the manuscript of unworthiness you write in your lonely place. I know you. I know the real you. The truly elegant, powerful you. The mother, the daughter, the provider, caretaker, and lover. I know you fear loss and hold on desperately to pain because if it ever leaves, you fear that you will lose the only constant you have ever known. I appreciate and regret you, and it confuses me. I appreciate all you do, but regret you doing it because at times you treat me better than you treat yourself. After making out in the baggage claim, foreplay on the freeway, and that dress halfway off for half the night, I will feel amazing and validated, but what about you? My compliments and touch could never fully express my feelings for you. It's not the dress or the heels or the lust your seductive pose manifests. It's that you give more than you take and then later resent me for that. Walk that fuck me walk, talk that love me talk, but wear the dress and heels for you. Your body is too valuable to be bartered for validation, and my validation is too inflated in your mind to be worth it. I love you and want you just as much in jeans and tennis shoes as I do when you're flawlessly made up. I love that you do those little things for me. I just wish you did them for yourself. Keeping moments. Her feet were tiptoeing on the railroad ties, occasionally skipping one to keep tempo. We were on a day trip to Capitola Beach so she could learn the settings of her new camera. Her ability to capture movement in a still photo was indescribable to my layman's eyes. The portrait she creates of a speck of time still carried the momentum of movement that followed the shot. This was her escape, her tryst of adventure from the corporate world and monotony of life. I followed, watching her patiently with no expectation, waiting for a piece of time that she would like to keep for herself. Something was different about her that day. The way she was dressed, the calmness of her voice, and the confidence in which she moved, completely unaware of how beautiful she was in that moment. Reflections cast. Each day you awake to subdue and conquer the expectations of perfection imposed on you. The archetypes of the feminine spirit guide you and find no pleasure in your self-sabotage pursuit of self-acceptance. You are, in your own eyes, irreconcilably broken. You cannot see yourself clearly and therefore are disillusioned. What you see is a misconstrued representation of your actual appearance. I see what you cannot perceive. I view you from a perspective of reality without agenda or influence. I watch you observe yourself, and your reflection offers you nothing but discomfort. I wish to tell you that the image you see in the mirror is not who you are. It upsets you, and you receive it as an insult to your intelligence. I understand and respect that, but if you would look at me and hear me, if you could cease the self-degradation for the smallest of seconds and grace me with your attention, I would like to, with all respect for your ability to translate your perception of this realm into an intelligent translation of thought processes, just show you that what you see in the mirror is not an accurate representation of you. You are not fragmented, disfigured, or imperfect. The mirror is broken. Those nights. The only seat left was next to me. You sat down impolitely, excusing yourself and refusing my attempt to help with your bag that you had kicked beneath the table. You came off as rude, smelled like Smirnoff and fast food. I've had those nights too. Too drunk to drive but can't stay. Stumbling down sidewalks on a night you want to write off, to forget, or neglect to remember. Dressed to impress for an unimpressive contender, you surrendered to self-respect and left. Don't ever forget that. Her struggle. The words she reads are distant delusions. Her bookshelf reflects her desired reality. The disempowered voice can only speak of emotion, to be loved in compassion but vigorously ravaged while beheld in respect. Is she asking too much? To be heard with confidence in her logic? To be trusted as an executive co-conspirator in her own journey? She bathes the tumultuous hazing of critics. Cynicism collides in the clamorous dilapidation of her self-trust, which is upheaved and discarded to the stratosphere of her subconscious, then falls back to her planet as asteroids of objectification in the present. She wakes to be unheard and rests in her obligations. My love, I hear you. Can you feel it? Sit next to me, my love. When you close your eyes, can you feel the world spin and the ever-expanding universe caving in? That's what it feels like to be in love with a woman. This has been Virile Essence, The Male Gaze in Love. Written by Shane Chapa. Narrated by Pete Richard. Copyright 2020 by Shane Chapa. Production copyright by Shane Chapa.